Guys, please let me just tell you this. No matter what you do, someone will always be unhappy. Always. Don't let anyone or any situation dictate to you who you are and who you can be.
You have spent your entire life trying to gain the approval of other people. And everything you do is determined to get other people's acceptance and approval. You dress the way you do in order to get other people's approval. You talk the way you do in order to get other people's acceptance and approval. You do certain things in life. Some things you wouldn't even want to do, but you do them because you want the approval of other people. And you are addicted to their approval. And you've been trying to gain approval from some unpleasable people your entire life, and you're never going to get it. But when you realize that God loves you unconditionally and without condition of any type, you realize this: I don't need the approval of other people. And it sets you free. I don't need other people's approval to be happy. Most of your life, you have been worried about what other people think. And that's because you don't feel totally unconditionally loved by God. And when you don't feel it, then you're trying to make yourself impressive, and you're trying to get the approval of other people. But when you know God loves you, criticism doesn't bother you anymore. Because if God loves me and I like me, you don't like me, that's your problem.
I would ask you simply this question: what kind of persons are you trying to seek approval from? People continually change their minds. Somebody may like you today and won't like you tomorrow. And how are you seeking approval? Is it by the way you dress? Is it your conversations? Is it where you go? Or what you listen to? What you believe? What you drink? What you watch? Compromising your biblical convictions usually happens when a person wants to please others rather than God. You can't make others happy. Happiness is something on the inside of them. You can't make them happy. Rather, you disappoint God or them. That's a choice you and I make. Our goal is to be obedient to God and to please and honor Him. What other people think, that's up to them. And because of who you are not under any obligation to please everybody around you.
I really want you to listen to me carefully when I say this. Stop letting other people's opinions control you. Define yourself before others have the opportunity to. I remember my father sharing a story and a life lesson with my brother and I thought that it was perfect for this conversation. He told us about a conversation he was having with someone who was telling him all of these negative things that they heard about him and what he was doing and yada, yada, yada. But you want to know what his response was? He said, "You cannot define a man who already knows who he is." Now that told me something that's very important, which is why I'm so passionate about this conversation and honestly all of the conversations that we have together, because I really, really, really want to encourage you to understand that all of these outside opinions of you and of me are irrelevant, because I already know who I am. You already know who you are. And this minimalism journey, this intentional living and thinking journey that we're all on together is helping us to strengthen the relationship that we have with ourselves. If you already know who you are, you cannot be defined. You cannot be controlled. I know who I am. You know who you are. So those opinions, their opinions of you don't matter. They cannot control you. They do not define you, because you define you. You know what you value in your life. You know what your life's purpose is.